Hey there, quirky folks! The MCU is expanding at a rate that's hitherto undreamt of. Technological advancements in this universe have risen to a level that's total science fiction. But still, Marvel has tried to keep things grounded in a bit of realism. That's what they do with everything, as they literally try to give a scientifically believable explanation for all their outlandish ideas. Things began with Iron Man and his advanced suits of armor. We were introduced to AIs and things like the super soldier serum.
Jarvis, doctor.
Started out, Jarvis was just a natural language UI. Now he runs the Iron Legion. He runs more of the business than anyone besides Pepper.
But from there on, things rose to the next level with the introduction of his guardian aliens and gods. Then came Doctor Strange and his world of mystic arts, and Wakanda, the most powerful nation on the planet. But very recently, this powerful nation was almost brought to its knees by the nation of Talokan. Wakanda may still stand as the strongest nation on Earth, but they've found an equal competitor in Talokan. We've already witnessed their battle on the big screen. We almost got the answer to who would win in an all-out war between them. But the movie still didn't answer which nation is more advanced. So we'll be breaking down these two nations separately and see which is more advanced. Before doing that though, it would be nice if you guys would hit those like and subscribe buttons to support our channel.
Merry Christmas, buddy.
With that out of the way, let's first look at Wakanda. The crown jewel that Wakanda possesses is obviously vibranium, the meteorite that struck their lands ages ago. The reason Wakanda managed to become the most advanced and powerful nation on Earth is because of vibranium. Through this mineral, they were able to come up with their flying cars, their weapons, and their mechanized suits. The Black Panther suit is literally the best suit of armor one could imagine. Adding Iron Man's flight system to these suits would deliver an even better product. And that's what we saw with the Ironheart armor and the Midnight Angels. But let's not talk about that for now. To top their technology, Shuri even cracked nanotech. And if the Wakandans managed to produce their nanotech suits and weapons on a massive scale, then they could literally create an unbeatable army. This army would not only allow them to stand against the Talokanils, but any force in the entire universe. But for now, they use force field shields and vibranium daggers, spears, swords, and blasters. This army did well against the forces of Thanos. But let's look at MCU's underwater nation and see how Wakanda's forces would do against them. So let's talk about Talokan. It is based on the mythical Aztec afterlife Talokan. The souls of those who died of a water or storm-related death end up on this plane. But it's obviously very different from the MCU version, which is a bit like Atlantis, but again different from that as well. Like Wakanda, MCU's underwater nation is also powered by vibranium. All those years ago when the vibranium meteor hit Wakanda, another one of those also landed in the ocean. This ocean chunk enabled a plant like the heart-shaped herb to grow underwater. Back in 1571, the people of the Mayan tribe were sick and starving. So their leader was shown a vision by their god Chop, who led them to the plant. Ultimately, he and his tribe ingested the herb and their skin turned blue on land. Their physiologies changed as they got superhuman strength but couldn't breathe the air on land. So they had to extract oxygen underwater. While ingesting the herb, one of those Mayans was pregnant. But because of the herb, the baby in her belly was born a mutant. And later in his life, he came to be known as Namor. He aged slowly and survived for over 400 years. During this time, the underwater city of Talokan was established near the vibranium meteor fragment. Namor ruled over this land, and his people called him Kulkulkan, the feather serpent god.
They called him Kukulkan.
That's because his mutation also gave him pointy ears and feathers on his legs. As for the rest of the Talokanils, most of them are much stronger compared to humans, as they are all descendants of the original Mayan tribe that ingested the herb and established Talokan. The vibranium in this kingdom acted as their own little sun underwater, as it lit up the whole area, and the entire city of Talokan was built with vibranium. Like the Wakandans, their clothes and weapons also had vibranium. But some of their weapons still felt primitive and old-fashioned, as they mostly used pure vibranium spears, while others like the water grenades were pretty high-tech. It's worth noting that these guys still prefer hand-to-hand combat more than modern warfare. And because they fight so brutally, it almost seems like they're like Vikings to Wakanda's Englishmen. Along with their fists and weapons, they also have the ability to hypnotize land dwellers with a humming sound. So, all in all, they use what they have pretty efficiently. But we can be certain that Talokan is still largely undiscovered in the MCU, and we'll see more of their tech and weapons in the future. But for now, let's work with what we've got and see who is more advanced and who would win if Wakanda and Talokan were to battle to the death. Wakanda versus Talokan. We saw how things went in the movie. First, the Talokanils caught Wakanda off guard when they attacked them in their homes and flooded the main city with water bombs. Maybe if Wakanda had known about the incoming attack and had more time to plan, Then they would have been able to uphold their defenses much better. But since there wasn't a lot of time, Shuri and co. took a massive water ship to fight them in their own terrain. They lured them in by using the vibranium detector and tried to subdue them with the pulsating device. It worked for a short while, but if you look at the whole scenario, Wakanda was able to fight Talokan where they are totally unbeatable. And ultimately, they were pushed to the back foot as the Talokanil had them cornered. So you have to agree that it was
Not a great plan.
but the plan worked in a way that they were able to trap Namor. Still, he wasn't taken down easily, and Shuri almost lost. She pulled a victory out of nowhere and managed to make Namor yield. The last few surviving Wakandan warriors were saved, and Wakanda was able to win. But if it was a fight to the death, then Wakanda would have lost. The Talokanils were clearly stronger, and Wakanda needed more time to prepare. If they had got more time, then I presume that they could have employed more of those Midnight Angel armors. That way, the Wakandan armies would have become as strong as the Talokanils. Imagine if we were to get a second Wakanda versus Talokan battle with both nations getting more prep time. Wakanda would obviously employ more soldiers with high-tech suits. But you'd reckon that this time, even the Talokanils would try to use some more efficient vibranium weapons. Right now, their soldiers were literally using turtle shells as shields. But once they come up with high-tech vibranium armors of their own, they might be able to stand strong against the Wakandans once again. But the problem with that is that the Talokan doesn't seem to possess a lot of tech geniuses. They have managed to use vibranium to build their underwater city, but it doesn't seem that they've got extremely high-tech vibranium weapons. They still depend more on brute force, and we've seen time and time again that brains win over brawn. Shuri proved it in Black Panther Wakanda Forever itself, but Tony proved it in Age of Ultron and in Endgame when he won against the Hulk and Thanos. And even Batman proved it in Batman vs. Superman. So, Wakanda is obviously the more advanced nation. They totally win in that department. Talokan is stronger, but they have to find a way to fight smarter. They can't rush into battles without having a proper strategy. And if Wakanda is given more time to prepare, then Talokan cannot win the war unless they use their vibranium as efficiently as Wakanda does. So, I'd give the victory to Wakanda for now.
Wakanda!
But it'll be interesting to see what else the Talokanils possess. Hopefully we get a solo Namor project that will explore Talokan even further and change the verdict of this video. What do you guys think? Is Talokan better and more advanced than Wakanda? Let us know in the comments. Hit those like and subscribe buttons if you agree with our analysis. And don't forget to check out some more fun content on our channel. Goodbye, and I'll see you in the next one.